Hello, this is Zombified Hippie for Random Madness 856 on YouTube. You can kind of see it up there. I don't know why I told you who I was. Okay, so anyway, you're probably wondering what this is. Well, we're doing something a bit new with the channel today. This is World of Warplanes. This game is currently not available to the public as it is still in closed beta. Which is really cool that I'm able to do this and get this out before that you probably would be able to play it. It is just one of my favorite planes I've got circling here because spinning is awesome. Anyway, this game is made by Wargaming. They're the same people who brought you the excellent tank combat game, World of Tanks. And like I said, this is currently in closed beta. The non-disclosure agreement, which kept me from making videos prior to this date, has been lifted. So I can say whatever I want. Which is awesome. Because I love this game. I'm going to have to give you an update video closer to release because not everything that's in here right now will be in there when it gets ready to be released. There are going to be some changes as this is still beta. But there will be a wipe, so when the game goes live, I'll start out in these things. Same as anyone else who joins. I've been playing since Global Alpha, and I've flown everything except for some of the tier 10s. There's tiers 1 through 10 in this game. So this is just a preview of the game, what I think of it so far, and hopefully a bit of information that you guys might like to know about it. First of all, we're going to start with the interface before we move on to the actual gameplay. The interface is fairly intuitive. You've got your hangar, you've got your tech tree, and your achievements. Your achievements are basically your stats. I'm not going to show mine because that will be considered bragging to some, and also they aren't that impressive. So, tech tree is fairly similar to what World of Tanks used to be. It's a lot different from what it is now. This is all the planes that you can get. I'm not going to spend too much time on all the planes, but you research things by basically clicking on it, clicking what you want to research or buy, and then if it's researchable, you hit research. If it's buyable, you hit buy and mount if you want it on your plane. You got a lot of customization on these planes, especially when you get up to the higher tiers. So, like, say, the BF-109G, if I can ever find it. I could choose different variations of weapons, and that would give me different characteristics, as you can see over here. Anyway, the options menu is fairly intuitive as well. There are 4 different ways you can fly. You can fly with a joystick, which is what I do. You can fly with a mouse, you can fly with your keyboard, or you can fly with a gamepad. I'm not very good with mouse anymore. I used to be, but not anymore. Now, you have the ability to alter your joystick curves while in game, which I found really nice. I don't have yaw on my joystick, so yeah. Old Logitech Attack 3 here, folks. You have the ability to change through a lot of the different graphics settings, which is nice for people who like to tweak to get the best performance out of the game while still maintaining that really pretty graphics that everybody loves. There's vertical sync, there's triple buffering, stuff like that. I don't mess with that because it lowers the frame rate. You want a high frame rate in this game. You also have the ability to select from presets: high, medium, low, very low. You have very high as well. I'm running medium. Well, not really medium, a modified medium. That's what gives me the best frame rate. Another interesting thing, you can go through and alter individual sounds as far as how much of it you hear. Some of these are mislabeled right now, but again, this is closed beta. That's going to be fixed. Something I haven't seen on many games. You can change the number of audio channels. You can mute it. You can go low, 16 channels, 32, or 64. I have it on 64 because my CPU is awesome. You have different battle interface types. I'm not really going to show you those. You can play with it if you get the game. But you can change your instrumentation a bit, add little stuff here and there, or you can remove stuff. I chose to remove a lot of stuff. You can change how enemies appear, standard, and what happens when you hit the Alt key on your keyboard, and what you see when they're exploded, but I don't know why that's in there. You can also change between imperial and metric measurements, which is also nice. It is a tier 10. It's a really weird looking plane. Another nifty little ability is the ability to change the paint scheme of your plane. I could go into this little thing, the exterior, and change my plane to different colors. Now that's probably going to cost you gold, which is the money that you have to buy. This game is free to play, but you can buy extra goodies with cash. You can change your nose art, stuff like that. Personally, I like this little skull. He's my buddy. For American planes, anyway. And you can get different types of nose art depending on which nation you're going with. Apparently you can even get Jessica Rabbit from Who Framed Roger Rabbit on some of these planes. Not really, but it looks like her. So, you know, that's a weird looking plane. That is a really weird looking plane. You also have this little battle thing here. What this does is this lets you do individual training against bots, or you team training, which you can also do against bots. You can set bots up on one side and just have target practice if you want, which is what I've done a lot of to get better skills. I keep gravitating back to the P-51A. I don't know why. So the only issues I really have right now with the interface is that when you go to your settings, you can't move your instrumentations around. Seem to have encountered a bit of a bug here. But you can't move your instrumentation around, and that makes it a little difficult if, say, your joystick is blocking the center of your screen. You can't see your aircraft status. There are slight issues with the labeling, which I've already addressed, and that's really about it. Now, I'm not going to fly these planes right now. I'm going to make videos and splice them in later of gameplay. So we'll cut to that now. But again, I won't be flying while recording the audio, because it's really hard to play this game and talk. At least it is for me. Continuing on with the gameplay, I'm trying to read my own handwriting here, so here we go with that. About the gameplay. Explosions! Airplanes! Rockets! Bombs! Cannons! And did I mention explosions? What more do you want, people? Really? I mean, yes, it's glorious. Another thing, this game is absolutely beautiful in terms of graphics. I might be running on low settings in these in-game videos, but that's just because I want to be able to record a smooth frame rate. This game is fairly graphics intensive, so you're going to need a pretty good computer to be able to play this at any kind of high settings. So there are a variety of aircraft choices, and each type has their own specific role. You've got your ground planes, which are not ground planes, but ground attack planes, which are good for strafing ground targets. They usually have rockets or bombs they can blow stuff up with, and most have a tail gunner to help you with the aircraft that are tailing you. There's heavy fighters, which usually have a tail gunner, but they're pretty good dog fighters too. So you have your bombs and your heavy armament for destroying ships and anti-aircraft guns and such, but you can also dogfight with a lot of them, and I do a lot. You also have just your standard fighter, which is just a standard fighter. You know what a fighter plane is for. Come on, you've seen Top Gun. You've also got carrier-based fighters, which are like your F4Us or your A6M1s. There are a lot of different... There are like 10 tiers, so you have 9 tiers of each type, and then you have one of just the standard fighters for the first tier. And most importantly, this game is fun. I mean, it's an adrenaline rush. This is fast-paced action, non-stop. Well, maybe there's a stop here and there, but it's... You get into a furball, you gotta think fast. It's all about outmaneuvering your opponent, or just outflying him. Now, there are a few issues with gameplay, and they're so typical with closed beta games. You have the occasional graphics glitches, which I'm guessing will be fixed by release. They've been working on it pretty much non-stop. So, I have no reason to believe that this game won't be beautifully polished by the time it's finished. It's pretty polished right now, really. One complaint that a lot of people seem to have with this game is that there is no cockpit view, and the reason I believe that they did this is because they didn't want anyone to really get they didn't want to make any real reference that there were actual people flying these planes and getting shot down and exploding and dying, because it's not an M-rated game. It's going to be rated about the same as World of Tanks, from what I'm gathering. Another issue that some people have, and I have absolutely just agree with them here, that there are no post-mortem collisions. So if your airplane explodes when you're going head-to-head against another aircraft, your corpse isn't going to crash into them and cause them to explode. Which takes a bit of realism out of it, but this isn't really a hardcore flight simulator, so I'll give them that. So another issue is that there's only one game mode right now, and the limited number of maps. That'll probably change. Right now it's a lot like World of Tanks, basically capture the flag, but instead of capturing a point, you're blowing up the enemy base to get the advantage, or you're taking out enemy airplanes to do the same. Or you can just kill them all. That's my favorite, honestly. But, yeah. As for the community in this game, I like it. So far, most of the people are friendly. They will answer your questions, unless you're asking the same question that's been asked a billion times before in the same chat. Yeah, I kinda can understand that. It's a pretty nice community. I've yet to see anyone who's totally horribly obnoxious, but then again, this is closed beta. There aren't many people playing right now. So now on to recommendations, because this is just a preview. I don't want to spend 5 hours on this video. If you want a full realistic simulator, this isn't it. It's just not. Okay? You don't get to land, you don't get to take off right now. That might change, I don't know. But you're not gonna find your big heavy bombers in it. You're not gonna have to control your prop pitch or your air brake settings and all that stuff. That's not what this game is about. It's supposed to be accessible. And it is. It's got a rather steep learning curve. It'll take some getting used to, unless you're used to flight simulators, in which case it'll probably be a breeze for you. Now, as for people who I would recommend this to, anyone else who likes World War II era aerial combat, and if you can think fast enough to handle it, this game is definitely for you. Especially if you liked World of Tanks. It's very similar, except you're in 3 dimensions now, and you're going a lot faster, and it's a lot harder to aim. Now, like I said, it's going to fall short of a hardcore simulator fan's expectations. But that's not what it's for. But the game makes up for that in being amazingly fun. I really can't say that much more about it. You'll just have to watch some other reviews or get it for yourself when it goes live. And I highly recommend that you do. So, good luck to everyone out there. I hope you enjoyed this little game preview. And I will see you with my next video. Peace out.